Hello everyone, and welcome to the first installment of what I like to call Spooky Time with Nyx, because I haven't thought of anything better yet. I love everything spooky and creepy, the things that go bump in the night. I basically celebrate Halloween year-round. And I don't mean like, oh yeah, I've seen like every horror movie on Netflix. I mean like, fear is the only thing I can feel. So anyway, this whole series is going to be devoted to anything and everything horror. I'm not completely sure where I'm going to go with it just yet. I'm hoping this will be a weekly thing, but I just love horror too much to not do something with it. So to kick things off, I'm going to be talking about some creepy experiences of my own. Now, I've been fortunate enough to not experience anything outright paranormal, at least not where I've like seen a ghost in front of me. And let's be honest, if ghosts do exist, they're probably not going to hang out with my boring ass. I mean, the highlight of my day is watching Kitchen Nightmares while I pretend to shop on Amazon. And I've never had like a creepy stalker situation, at least not one that's willing to commit. Oh boys, I'm going to be at the park all by myself later. Not a weapon or a friend in sight. Yeah, I'm tired. I've had a long day. My arm is sore from slashing, and yeah, I'm just gonna sit this one out. But thank you. You are so sweet. Thank you, but I'm gonna have to say no. But there have been times where something will happen and it sends a chill up my spine, and it makes me wonder if I am actually alone when I think I am. So these first two stories actually happened in the same summer. I was an RA at the time for a freshman building while I was at college. Most of the students would go back home, and it left the floor very empty. We were just kind of there for the students that either had summer classes or decided to stay through the summer before they transitioned into a new building. So at this point, like I said, most students had gone home, and that left me without any roommates. I had a 4-bedroom dorm to myself, and it really freaked me out. I don't really do alone time very well. There was a lot of dancing alone and crying and eating, kind of like a wedding, but very, very sad. So about 2 weeks after my previous roommates had moved out, I started hearing this loud banging from what sounded like my ceiling. And as anyone who's lived in a dorm can attest, the walls are like paper thin. You can hear a conversation going on in the next room. So I didn't really think anything of it. I'm used to sounds while I sleep. But then I realized that I was on the top floor. There was no above me. It was loud enough to shake the walls. So I figure it must be the people underneath me. Maybe the sound is coming through the pipes. Maybe it just sounds like it's coming from the ceiling. Nonetheless, I just don't think anything of it that first night. This continues every night for like 4 days. And on the 4th day, I got pissed. I'm like, these freaking kids are banging each other at all hours of the night. It's like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. And from the sound of the rhythm, they're not doing a very good job. So by night 4, I'm like, I am gonna give them a piece of my mind. So I start banging back. I start banging on the floor like, and then like 5 seconds later, I heard from the roof. And I'm like, hell no. So I bang louder. I'm like, bam, 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 like on the floor. And once again, just do, 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 loud enough to shake the walls. And so I run downstairs and start banging on their door. I'm like, I don't care how sexually frustrated you are, I'm getting my goddamn sleep. So I start banging on their door, and I don't hear anything. I don't hear laughter, there's no banging sound, I don't even hear people whispering or walking. The floor is just eerily quiet. And keep in mind, this is like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, so I feel like an idiot, and I start to get kind of creeped out. So the next morning I go down to my residence director's office. He's basically like my manager, and I'm like, I need answers. The way I just went in there guns blazing, I probably looked like an old style detective, just like, I gotta crack this case. We're gonna bring justice back to this floor, all right? We gotta crack it. We gotta find this guy. We gotta bring him to justice, all right? So I'm like, these kids keep banging at night. And he's just like, you just give them condoms. There's not a whole lot you can do at this point, okay? And I'm like, no, they're making noise at like 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning, and I can't get any sleep. So I tell him about how it sounds like it's coming from the ceiling, and I'm like, it's either the people on either side of me or the people directly below me. He's looking through his files and he's just like, well, there's not anyone on either side of your apartment right now, and the only person beneath you is another RA. And I knew this girl personally, like she was very mature and very sweet and not the type that would do something like this. Not to mention that she was on duty that night that I banged on her door, and she wouldn't have heard me anyway. So the next night it happens again, and it's just this rhythmic banging, and I can't move, I can't scream, I can't do anything. I just sit there and listen to this unexplainable banging, and then it stopped. And I never heard it again. It was just for about 5 days. It was this unexplainable, responsive banging above me. This next story happens that same summer during the middle of a heat wave when the power went out. I live in Atlanta, and at this point in the summer, the heat was so bad that it wasn't just uncomfortable to live without AC, it could be a health hazard, especially for those people who relied on the elevators and could not get down the stairs. I was the RA on call that day, and I was given the task of checking each floor to make sure someone hadn't passed out in a stairwell or on a floor, just to make sure everything was okay. I go into the stairwell and I realize that it is pitch black. The only light that appears is from the exit sign, and all the way up 5 floors there was no light. It was completely enclosed and completely dark. I realized I didn't have a flashlight with me. So I pull out my phone, just decide to lead the way with my cell phone light. I get to about the 3rd floor and I realize that my battery is on like 6%. It's about to die, but it's the only light I have unless I want to go back down the stairs and to another building to get a flashlight. It's creepy enough as it is. I don't really like the whole look of flashlights or cell phone light. It just really creeps me out. So I'm already on edge. From what must be the 2nd floor, I hear this door slam open. They're really heavy doors, so in order to open them at all, you have to kind of body slam them. So I scream and like drop my phone. And then I start laughing. I'm like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. I just got spooked. And there was no response. And so I say, are you okay? Do you need any help getting up the stairs? It's really dark, watch your step. And still nothing. Well, maybe someone opened the door, realized how dark it was, and was just like, nope, I am too sober for this shit. I'm going back to my room. So I continue walking up the stairs, and then behind me, I hear footsteps. And so again, I'm like, do you need help? Are you okay? And at this point, I'm like, who the fuck is so rude to deny my olive branch? I'm just trying to help you out. So me and my lack of melanin decided it would be a good idea to go down a flight of stairs to see where this person went. I'm walking down the stairs with just this dim light from my dying phone, and I don't see anyone. And eventually I look over the stairwell to where you can see kind of the spiral of all the staircase, and I look down and there's no light besides the exit sign. And if someone was there, they would have pulled their phone out. They wouldn't be able to walk without some kind of light in front of them, but there was nothing, just a red glowing light from the exit sign. So I book it upstairs. I am just like, fuck no, goodbye, this person can rot in the stairwell, that's fine. I ran as fast as I could, my heart was pounding, and I burst open the doors to the 5th floor where I lived, and it was just this eerie silence. There wasn't anyone on the floor. You couldn't hear an AC running. You couldn't hear the elevators running. Couldn't hear anyone opening their doors because it was all down. And so I kind of just huddled into the sunniest spot in the commons area where there were like big windows and just kind of waited until the lights came on later that day. This next story is not necessarily paranormal, but I cannot explain it. And it's going to sound absurd, and I'm going to sound crazy, but hear me out. This happened not so long ago, maybe a few months ago. My boyfriend and I were driving home from dinner. He was in the driver's side, and I was in the passenger seat watching out the window, and we came to the top of this hill, and there was this gorgeous, low-hanging bright moon, and it was like this amber color, and it was just so gorgeous. So I tapped Mark, and I'm like, honey, look how gorgeous that moon is. That is just so picturesque. And as we both turned to look at it for a second, it flickered. I know this sounds nuts, but it flickered like when you're first turning on a fluorescent bulb and it like boop, 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 like it flickered for like 2 seconds. And I thought I was crazy. Mark saw the exact same thing and I have no explanation for it. I'm like, the moon is fake. All those conspiracy theories are right. I mean, it really changed my life. I didn't know. I still can't explain it. I mean, you know, Mark tried to explain it away like, oh, maybe something was moving in front of it. But it was like this gorgeous big moon. There was nothing that could move in front of it in time to make it look like it was flickering twice. I have no explanation for it, and it's still one of the creepiest things that's ever happened to me. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Not exactly that scary, but was totally scary to me at the time. Let me know if you have any spooky stories you want to share with me in the comments. If I get enough of them, maybe I can make a video about them. And like I said, I'm not sure where this is going to go, but I am super excited to see what's in store. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.